YouTube, this is Ronald Belmont from Retro Video Game Weekly. On this week's episode, we're going to talk about a YouTuber who's just recently hit a very important milestone, 300 subscribers, and that is MichaelB the Game Genie. Michael is joining us live from satellite from his residence in St. John's, Newfoundland. Michael, how are you today?
Hey Ron, how's it going? Thanks for having me on the show, I really appreciate it.
Let's get started with one of the most difficult questions. Michael, why did you start making videos on YouTube in the first place?
Well, actually, this is a bit of a tough question. I think probably the biggest reason I started doing videos on YouTube was I just got back into playing retro video games. I never really went away, it's just I didn't play them on the retro systems. I was a big fan of the Virtual Console on the Nintendo Wii, and I've probably spent more money on my Virtual Console than I have on picking up retro games, actually, over the years. So I was a big fan of playing games on the Nintendo Wii, and I wasn't sure whether or not I wanted to pick up a game called Castlevania 2: Simon's Quest. So I went online, and I just looked to try to see if I could find some kind of review, and I went to like IGN.com, places like that, and I wasn't happy with what I got. And I kind of stumbled across a Angry Video Game Nerd video for Castlevania 2: Simon's Quest. And you know what? It was okay, it was kind of funny. I ended up watching all the Castlevania series. One of the response videos, though, was Eric from Let's Get, and his first video, his review of Castlevania 2. So I just kind of started watching his stuff, I started watching James' stuff. Through the Angry Video Game Nerd, I found Pat the NES Punk, and these were all kind of before I even had a YouTube account. So I got interested in watching all these YouTube videos, so I eventually signed up. I had an account, but it was one of those accounts without a channel, and I subscribed to a bunch of shows. One of the channels I came across was NT1138's, and I really enjoyed his Top 3 Tuesday, other videos like that. So I started subscribing to more and more channels, and it kind of got me motivated. I was back out, I was picking up retro games. I went and got everything back from my parents' house, set it all up, did a whole games room here, and as time went on, I said, you know what? I've been watching all this stuff for free for a very long time, and I've really been enjoying it. I'd like to do something to give back to the community, because I really see YouTube as a community. It's not just a form of entertainment, like I'm not doing this because I want to become a star. I just really like the idea of a community. I mean, 32 years old, coming up in October, there's not a whole lot of people I can go around and talk to, especially here in Newfoundland. It's a very isolated place, about playing retro video games. So it just seemed like a great opportunity. I could get involved in this community, I could give back for all the great things that I've watched over the years, and put some content out there for people to watch, and if they enjoyed it, they enjoyed it.
MichaelB the Game Genie. That's a bit of a tongue twister. How'd you come up with your name?
Well, this is actually a really interesting story. Another great YouTuber that I watch, he's newer, and he's got an amazing channel, Mr. Dude 206, and he did a video recently explaining why he always has stupid fish in his videos, and kind of the origin story of that. The origin story for me, MichaelB the Game Genie, isn't as exciting. Basically, I was driving back from a business trip back to St. John's from Corner Brook, and I was thinking about different names and ideas because I've been thinking about doing this for a while. And I really like the idea of the Game Genie. Like, there were a lot of people out there using a lot of other monikers, but no one really talked about the Game Genie. I thought. There's other people that are on YouTube with the name the Game Genie, I'm sure. But I really like the idea of the Game Genie, so when I decided I was going to put my first video up on YouTube and I was actually going to create my channel with content, I couldn't find anything I liked, and finally I talked to my wife and I said, what about MichaelB the Game Genie? And I liked how it rhymed. I think back to another great YouTuber that I watch all the time and I really enjoy his stuff, Pat the NES Punk. He talked about how he likes alliteration. Well, I really like the idea of rhyming. I've always liked the idea of rhyming. So it's kind of an off-on MichaelB the Game Genie, but I kind of like the sound of it, and I wanted to try it out, see what it was like. So anyways, it worked for me. I'm happy with it. I'm sure a lot of other people think it's ridiculous, but it's one I really like. And a little side story there now too. Actually, I had a Game Genie growing up, and yeah, I used to cheat on a lot of games.
Michael, collecting retro video games seems to be the in thing right now, or the fad. What prompted you to do this?
See, this is a hard one. I never really started collecting retro games. Like, most of the stuff you see in my collection, like all my boxed systems back there pretty much, and like my boxed N64 and boxed Super Nintendo games, I didn't start collecting retro games. I started collecting current games, and I really always loved the artwork on the boxes. I loved keeping everything complete. I wasn't allowed to do that with my Nintendo because my parents threw out all the game boxes and the system box. But when I got my SNES, I said, that's it, I'm keeping everything. And I did. So everything I picked up, I've kept. Now, after basically what I told you earlier about watching videos on YouTube and stuff like that, I got interested in some other things. Like, I got interested in the TurboGrafx 16. I really wanted to go back and get an S top loader because I never did. So I did that stuff because of that, but the truth is, I've always been collecting. I've been collecting for the last 20 years. It's just, it was new when I collected it.
One of the comments we get a lot about you, Michael, is that you have very good editing in your videos. You must have went to some kind of school or establishment to learn how to do that?
I find that one a little bit strange. You see, I don't really think my videos are that good, and, you know, I'm not crapping on people's opinion or anything like that. It's just, I don't really know what I'm doing, to be honest. Basically, I just did very little research on this. I decided that how I got my camera in the first place was I gave my parents a camera for Christmas 2 years ago. They never used it. My dad found it too complicated, so I kind of got the itch that I wanted to do this. So I said, hey Dad, I kind of want that camera back. So I kind of stole the camera I bought from him back. Then, after I did that, I posted a couple videos to YouTube that were just straight shots, and they were okay, but it takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, and a lot of work just to do a straight video that you're happy with. So I'd end up taking like 2 or 3 takes. Sometimes I'd be an hour and 15 minutes recording video, which is kind of ridiculous. So I decided I'm going to have to learn how to do video editing. So I started out, I was using Windows Live Movie Maker. That was pretty simple enough, but you couldn't do a whole lot with it. So I asked around and people told me, you gotta check out Sony Vegas. So I checked out Sony Vegas, but I found Sony Vegas a little bit complicated. Not so much anymore, because I'm learning how to use it now. So I didn't really like using Sony Vegas. But I also wanted to include game footage into my videos. So I went out and bought a Dazzle, and it came with a program called Pinnacle Studio 14. And I don't know why, but I just love this program, and that's what I actually do all my final editing in. So everything, my little word clips, extra video clips, everything I put in comes out of that program. So basically, right now, what's happening, I'm using a combination of 3 programs. I'll usually put the video through either Windows Live Movie Maker or Sony Vegas to actually capture it directly from the card and make sure the audio and everything syncs up. And then I'll take that project, put it in the Studio Pinnacle, and just work away at it. And as for any good editing or anything else I do, I guess I'm just really anal. Like, I like picking at stuff, and I like trying to learn how to do things, and I'm not satisfied unless it works right. So I just kind of do it and fool around with it until I'm happy with it. So anyways, if I have good editing, I don't know. I hope you guys think I do. I hope you guys are enjoying it. And I'm trying. Basically, when I started doing this 4 months ago, no clue what I'm doing. I still don't really have a clue, but I'm trying. I enjoy it. I like picking around at it.
One of the questions we really like to ask here of all our guests is, what is your favorite system to collect for, and why?
This is a very, very difficult question to answer, and I'm sure most of you who've watched my channel know I do series of shows where I'm trying to get a complete NES collection, which is really cool. I love the NES, but it's not my favorite system to collect for. It's my second favorite, which is complete opposite. One of the people that inspired me, Pat the NES Punk. His second favorite is actually my favorite, and that's the TurboGrafx 16. I think one of the big reasons I like collecting for it so much, it's the system I didn't have as a kid. I don't know how this happened. Like, I was the biggest video game person on my street, yet I didn't have the TurboGrafx 16, and everybody else did, and I was just so jealous. I would just beg these people so I could get a borrow of it, and when the oldest kid on the street, Mark, got a TurboGrafx 16 CD and Wanderers from Ease, books 1 and 2, I was just over the moon. He never let me borrow it, but I did get to go down to his place and play it a couple times, and that was it. When I started getting back into retro video game collecting, bringing all my old stuff up and going out to flea markets, pawn shops, thrift stores, everything, looking for stuff, I absolutely had to get a TurboGrafx 16, and collect for it because I'm just fascinated. I love the look of it. I love the design. I love the promotional ads for it. I love the games. It's an amazing system.
Well, Mr. B Game Genie, it's been a fascinating interview, and congratulations on 300 subscribers.
No problem. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate this.
This is Ronald Belmont, signing off for Retro Video Game Weekly.